Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider in multiplayer in Asphalt 9, this time at Golden Max. Since this car has a multiplayer season all about it running now, I thought it would be a good idea to go back and visit the multiplayer king of Class B. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and enjoy the video. The Huracan is one of the most popular cars in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. I would say perhaps only behind the Corvette and the DS E-Tents. And the reason for that is because it is very easy to drive, it's faster than the Corvette and much faster than the E-Tents, and it isn't especially difficult to get. You do have to buy packs for it, but it came out a long time ago and there have been many instances to get it since then. So while a lot of people won't have it maxed, there are certainly a lot that will, and that is mostly what I found actually during this season. Most people, especially in the higher leagues, had this car maxed, and in many cases golden maxed. In any case, I would say that it is one of the most useful cars in the entirety of Asphalt 9 to have. Not only is it extremely good for multiplayer, but it is also extremely good for any B-class events you may run up against, and it's just a very fun car overall. Now, of course, there has been some debate as to which car is truly the king of Class B, given that this car, in terms of event times, sits pretty close to the likes of the Apollo N, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the Avia, and even the new Carrera GT is not too far behind. And although it's true that some of those cars can beat this one on many tracks, like the Apollo N and Avia on long straight ones, this will likely be the one to serve you best across the most events, and in this race we've reached Elite League. So in the first qualifying round of the Jesko Grand Prix, which came out a few days ago, I managed to get 7 out of 10, so that was in the top 10 needed to qualify there, so I won't have to do qualification round 2, but I'm definitely still going to do practice. And yes, if you guys have been having trouble with the 18 nitro bottles goal in the practice there, you're gonna need to go a bit of a different route than you might usually. It took a few tries, but I was finally able to find the route and get that one so far. So most of the route you're going the main way, just being sure to pick up all the nitro bottles, but at the part with the 2 yellow nitro bottles where you go over the bump and then you make that wide turn around to the right, keep to the right, and then you will be on a section that has multiple blue nitro bottles that you can get for that goal. Just a little tip for you guys who may have been stuck on that one, because I know that if you complete all conditions, so including those, you get an extra 3 Jesko blueprints. Now, I know that you can pay 75 tokens to bypass each one of those, but I know most people don't like doing that and would rather save their tokens for the real packs to try their luck to get even more blueprints. But it is still an option if you can't manage to get those 18 nitro bottles. Now, if you go to rewards or prizes or whatever it's called, you can actually see what you get on each level. Someone pointed that out to me in my previous video. Surprisingly to me, Tier 1 actually has almost as many guaranteed keys for the Jesko as it did in previous Grand Prix, with 9 out of 20 guaranteed the key, and then the 10th place like getting 35 packs with a chance to get the key or something like that. So that's pretty nice. I'm hoping I get into Tier 1 because Tier 2 drops all the way down to the top 3 get guaranteed keys. Now, I know that Tier 2 will probably be easier than Tier 1, but that is a lot less keys, and I just don't know if it's worth the probably slightly easier time to come in like 4th or 5th and wish I'd been in Tier 1 and come in 7th or 8th and gotten the key. So we'll just see whatever happens though. Although the Jesko has been regulated to 2 stars for the qualifying rounds, Mina has confirmed that it will be open to completely upgrading it as much as you want for further rounds, like the final rounds, which means packs are going to come out for it. Again, I'm still speculating that it will likely be 900 or above for the packs, and I'll make a video opening as many as I can because for some reason these opening packs videos people seem to really enjoy, and my previous one about opening the 100+ Sheeran packs did really well, so hey, I'll do that for the Jesko as well. All of the Huracans that I faced so far in this video have been completely golden maxed. Now, this is one with a max card, but without a few epics. I think he was just over 4,000 ranked, like 4,036. But we'll see here that those extra epics really don't make a whole lot of difference in the race. I mean, he's going along at pretty much just the same speed as me all the way throughout here, and I never really noticed the difference between him and somebody who had a car completely maxed. Really, epics are only there to be a sort of paywall in some cases, where you have to spend lots of trade coins in order to get them, and it's just kind of like a really premium feature that doesn't really really help the cars a whole lot, at least in case of the Huracan. Now, on some other cars that have more epics able to be applied, I don't really know, as I don't have a lot of cars maxed that have a ton of epics, so I can't really tell you the difference from experience. But for this one, yeah, it really doesn't do a whole lot. Just extremely useful in special events which require you to have fully maxed cars. And that's the main reason why I would recommend buying them. So this guy was keeping very close to me all throughout the race, but he runs into some sort of problem around one of the final turns here. Thankfully, I managed to make it through that section without hitting those things sticking up in the middle and come in first. Now these next two races are back-to-back, extremely close battles against the same guy in both of them. He's also got a Golden Max Evo, and I have learned over time throughout my Asphalt 9 career to watch out for those players that have those short foreign names. You probably know what I'm talking about. As you may have noticed, most of the races in this video were recorded after I reached Elite League. For some reason in the previous league, I had a terrible time getting up to this one. Like, I just had so many bad races, but once I reached Elite League, the races, for some reason, became almost easier, which is very strange considering that's not usually what happens. And something else strange that I've noticed is even after all of my years of Asphalt, over 3 years at this point, I still feel like when I record, I don't play as well as when I'm not recording. And I think that's just something in my mind saying, hey, you're recording now, you better do extremely well, which causes me to be a bit more pressured and therefore not do as well. Usually that doesn't happen, it's fine, but I have noticed occasionally it can come out, but thankfully it does not normally in my videos, so I am very glad about that. So coming up to the end of this race here, we are right on the tail of this guy. He's been very good all throughout this race, ever so slightly pulling ahead of me at every twist and turn, and thus we come in second place. But in the next race, I actually managed to face him again. Whenever I lose to somebody in one of these seasons, especially if it's a duel race, I always hope that I can race them again just to be able to have a rematch, and I got my wish on one of my favorite tracks in the game, Nile River. So earlier I said that I considered this car to be the overall king of Class B, but very close to a few other cars. You can see this in my most recent best and worst cars in each class videos, and some people I think are confused about how often I do those. I tend to do them every few updates, or every few months or so. That's how it's been in the past, 4 to 5 months in between them, because I don't want to make them too often, because they do really take a lot of time to put together. Honestly, they take more time to put together than any other video on my channel except for probably the music videos. And honestly, probably even more time for the actual video than the music videos. It's just the music videos take longer for the music and the writing and all of that, which, by the way, I am working on, and there probably should be a music video in the next month or two. But yeah, about the best and worst cars in each class list, you can probably expect to see another one after the next 2 or 3 updates or so, especially if there's some real shake-ups or cars get nerfed or buffed a lot before then, because I just made one before the Porsche update and there have been 2 updates since then, so you can expect probably a couple more to go by before another video of those comes out. Oftentimes in this season I was passed at this final curve because I didn't use Shockwave quickly enough after it, but there I managed to use it at just the right time, so in our rematch against this guy, we took the victory. And now for our final race in the video, which is also on Cairo against another Golden Max Huracan, and now it is time for my general review of this car. It's an extremely good car. I remember one of my first videos about it, I called it like the perfect car or something like that, and it's really one of the closest ones that you can get to that in the game. It's just very fun to drive, it's extremely agile, its nitro efficiency is very good, its acceleration is very good, its handling and drifting are also quite good, if not the very best. I mean, ones like the Corvette and the 911 GT3 RS do drift and handle a bit better, but this car is still very close. One thing about it that makes it so good is that it is extremely stable. Rarely, if ever, will you have weird issues happening in this car. And its top speed, while not the best at 222, is usually enough to keep up with most A-class cars even in multiplayer. And if you don't have this car or don't have it starred up to max, that is one thing I would definitely recommend would be a good idea to spend tokens on, because it will be very useful to you in a lot of cases. It's the best B-class car for multiplayer and the best on twisty tracks in events. So here we take the victory in our final race. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content. And I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!